once one side is done, it's a lot easier to do the other because you're just matching it. You don't worry about measurements or nothing like that. You just match everything as best you can. You'll notice those circular gussets are sticking out from the longerons there by the coffee cup there and then towards your right. And that's because we're going to bend those over when we put the cross beams across to make it a box. And to ensure that our longerons were perfectly together, you'll note the many zip ties.
That's a lot of aluminum dust. You know, if I got some iron rust, aluminum dust and rust, what could I make?
Fuselage is 55 inches across, so here I'm just making a bunch of tubes that are 55 inches long, coped equally. This is kind of a long process, and kind of funny that I spent all that time jigging that one side of the fuselage, and here I am just moving it out of the way. I'm using the belt sander here to do my coping. If you notice, there's a line there to make sure that the copes all match the same way. That's a fish mouth, as it were. Anyway, this is just one of the easiest way for me to do it, and it's just a practiced hand. In order to make sure that the fuselage is square, use some wires here and just put some tension on them. Make sure that everything's nice and square, put some tubes in there to hold things together, and we work all the way down the fuselage this way. It's kind of like trammeling a wing when you're putting it together to make sure that it's straight. You'll notice there's some shims underneath the fuselage on the right side of the screen here. The table isn't level, so I had to make the fuselage level. And some shims did it just fine for me. It worked out great. You'll notice the tubes are just stuck in the bottom, and I'm attaching the gussets on the top here. When I get this done, it'll get flipped over and we'll do the other side. Again, those cross wires will make sure everything stays square. Had some folks ask me why I don't use dividers here to make sure these rivets are perfectly evenly spaced out. There's two reasons why. The distance is really short. It's easy to split the difference. And second off, it really doesn't matter. It's going to be okay. The tolerances are just fine. Mike's helped me center this thing down with a chalk line. That way we draw the tail together, we'll know that we're dead center of the fuselage and she's not kicked left or right. In this case, it worked out pretty close. We had some tweaking to do, but this is just a matter of pulling it together and taking a deep breath. Here's where that tramlin comes in, tightening those strings up, making sure everything's nice and true. using the front there as my guide, and going back through and making sure everything's nice and level. Don't want any twists in the fuselage like I had when I first built it. This is just kind of nitpicky, checking. And that's that. The fuselage is, yay, put together. This is the frame part. Now all I got to do is just do a bunch of other stuff. But man, this is huge. Really, really huge. Tail to the front, everything works out great.